Welcome back to another episode of Honesty Talk, and this one is actually LaYinka Sumayah. It's our last one. We decided when we were going to do this season that this would be the final season of Honesty Talk, and I remember season 3 where we said that it was like starter, main course, dessert. Like season 3 was a dessert. Everyone was like, "What? Are you stopping?" But actually, we've made a decision. SubhanAllah, the seasons have, apart from like the first few episodes of season 1, were funded by us. Like we just put our money in. We didn't know where it was going to go. We didn't even know if we were going to do any like episodes. And then, mashallah, the community supported the funding of all the seasons. And khalas, we've used up every penny towards this final season.
Fulfilled the amana.
Alhamdulillah, we have fulfilled your amana. Jazakallah khair to everyone who has supported us. But this is our final episode where we will be sharing our last messages to the HT2 community, mashallah. 6 years ago, 6 years ago, 2018, it started. And it started, we didn't know where it would go. We just kind of piloted a few episodes, and then subhanallah, at that time there was nothing out there by Muslim women, but they were kind of speaking very openly, about topics that needed to be spoken about, right? And then mashallah, and we did say one of our intentions was that sisters, brothers, community would take the conversations forward. And now we have so many podcasts and shows out there who are doing that, which is great, alhamdulillah. And a few of them have said, actually, we started this as a result of watching HT2, which is wonderful. But everything comes to an end. And this is our last episode. How do you guys feel?
I can still remember that very first episode when we were in chapters.
Keeping it real, I think.
Yeah, keeping it real. Me with my hands waving all over the place. You guys stiff as planks. And
I was.
I wasn't.
Anyway, the audience can decide. But subhanAllah, we were young and fresh-faced.
Mm-hmm.
And the journey from then to now, what has been consistent, alhamdulillah, is that we've kept it real.
Yeah, that's true.
And that we've been honest about what has been on heart and mind for us. And we've spoken our truths. And our truths might not be the truths for everyone else, but we've spoken ours. And we've opened up the way for people to do that, for other sisters to know that they can claim their truths and they can express their truths in private, first and foremost, to themselves, to their Lord, to those close to them, and in community. Community gatherings are happening, tea talks all of the different tea talks are happening. Alhamdulillah, we love to see it, mashallah. And it's just about continuing that with ihsan. We never did this for position or fame or anything. We are just, 3 women on the journey to Allah, and we wanted to give voice to what felt we needed to speak about, what needed to be spoken about. And so it's been a beautiful journey, in all the different ways we've grown. Yeah. It's been a beautiful journey, alhamdulillah.
What have been the highs and lows for you, Sumayah? Start with the lows.
Start with the lows.
And then go to the highs.
The lows of this?
Honestly,
I mean, I think there's the YouTube tax, the cost of being on YouTube. And I always say this, YouTube is the jungle. Like, anything can go. And I think it just created a really clear, mark for me. YouTube is not real life. And I think, people, it's out there in public, and people are going to feel how they feel and respond the way they respond. And it, once it's out there, it has a life of its own, and it goes, where we have no clue where it's going to go. I think as a positive, I'm definitely over myself like a lot more. I remember how like self-aware I was in season 1 and like and watching, like I did feel stiff. I did feel, I think it's very new, and this is something that people who know me in person will tell me, like, you know, I watched the episode, I watched the show, and it always feels weird when people know me who watch it, because I feel like you know me in real life and then you're watching me talk and there's this separation, but I feel like the gap kind of like closed a little bit between being comfortable saying things and just being myself, or the comment that it must be so hard to figure out what to say and to not mess up and to not, I'm not thinking about that actually.
Yeah, because every single episode has been unscripted and unplanned. We just choose a topic title.
People don't believe that.
They don't believe that, but it's true. We literally choose the topic titles, camera rolls, and we don't even know what we're going to say for every episode. Yeah, we just, no, it's an organic.
What I mean is, we're like, okay, so what's the angle? What's the direction? You know, and we don't dissect it. We don't say, oh, let's talk about this, and then you talk about this, and we'll bring in this. It's like, okay, we make it our adiyah, we say Bismillah, we trust that you're going to ask some fire questions.
We jump in.
And it's hard to believe that because so much is scripted now. You know, you've got script writers for everything who will write things, and then people are reading them off the script. So it's hard to believe that, wow, you guys, that you didn't edit anything out, you don't do like stop, start again, stop, like it's literally been like that. And I don't think in the world of video entertainment or anything, it's production, it's not like that. It's not, it's typically orchestrated in some way, so you just bring that in so that can be a little bit of drama, and we've got that little,
it's been produced. Yeah,
there was no production,
which is incredible, and a ni'mah, because it means, for me, it means that everything that
was raw.
Everything was raw, but everything was what Allah wanted the viewers to get.
SubhanAllah, it's true. It's true.
And the ones that He didn't want them to get, they didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like one of the episodes in season 2.
Audio issue.
Yeah,
it didn't
make it.
So khalas.
Wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't. SubhanAllah. So what about the highs?
So much beauty, the community that formed. Like, just like you said in the very beginning, like we didn't have a clue what would happen, where this would go. I remember literally thinking, like, should I do this? Like, is it worth my time?
Excuse me.
I know. And then, you know, doing it and just being like, okay, like, let's see. And then it turning into this thing with connection and, you know, people walking up to you in the street and it being like, it's so cool. Like, you know, I'm normal in real life. Like, it's just me. You know, I'm not a big deal, like, you know, and it's just so nice to meet people. And it was crazy. London is big, but it's small, you know, and you're walking in the street, and one time this girl ran out of a shop. I passed the glass and she ran out of the shop and was like, oh my God, it's you. And I just felt like, oh my God, give me a hug. Like, hey, I love you too. Like, it's so good to meet you, you know, thank you for taking the time to watch the show. So that part of it is really beautiful. It's lovely to feel like people connect with you. They know you. I've watched you. I know your voice. I know how you think. Like, that's pretty neat.
I think what's been really nice is to hear from brothers and sisters, subhanAllah, that like I grew up with you. And when I say that, I'm like, what are you talking about? It was only like last year. But actually being 6 years ago we started, when I started university with you, and now I'm like a mum of, you know, a little one. You know, I went through university with listening to you. I started off in college, you know, and it's like, oh, wow. So we kind of went through their transition from kind of late teens to adulthood. And it's interesting. It's lovely. It's lovely to be a part of someone's life in that way. I think the huge plus point for me is that we gave a voice to those who are voiceless. With some episodes, you know, we gave people hope where they couldn't speak, where they were going through something and they couldn't find their voice. And alhamdulillah, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission and grace, we became their voice. That's an honor. It's an absolute honor, you know, because I think I love to be able to help those who feel they're at the bottom of the pile, you know, and that's a plus point for me. Alhamdulillah. So, seeing as this is the last episode, if there were things that you wanted to be recorded on YouTube for the rest of time, what would you want to say? What would you want the viewers to leave with? And why?
Oh, that's a lot. As you said that, I just think of the highs and lows of life, and I think I would say enjoy the highs, be present for them, embrace them, bank them, to withdraw from when the lows hit, because the lows will hit. And that's okay, because we're human and we're living in this dunya. And the sunnah of this dunya is that there will be highs and lows. And when the lows come, just withdraw from that account of the goodness that you did have, knowing that this too shall pass and this too shall end, and there's still something on the other side of this. And through those highs and lows, hold firm to Allah. That holding firm to Him is something that I think is a timeless message, and something that I take for myself first before I say.
SubhanAllah. That's side-eyeing me.
It's the same thing that you're saying, like what that's a heavy request. I think legacy, I think if the text message came out that I passed away, what would I want people to be repeating? I'm gonna say, following what you said, I'm gonna say istighfar in Surah Al-Baqarah, actually. I'm gonna like drill those again. I think the effect that they have, for me, I wish I knew sooner. That's what it is. If I could go back and give myself those tools earlier on, if I could understand the power and impact that they would have, and I felt like they could have saved and resolved and healed, and I just didn't have them. So if I could gift someone them now, and they could, they could save that time, and they could have all the good that comes from that, then I would give that to them. I think that's a valuable thing. So to read Surah Al-Baqarah, to make it your companion, be steady with it, be consistent with it, read as much of it as humanly possible in a day and consistently. And then istighfar is to just be asking Allah for forgiveness. It polishes off your heart. It opens doors of rizq. It brings about ease. It opens the doors for other acts of worship. They're keys. They're keys. Once each person uses these keys, there's no limit. Just, I'm excited for you and what Allah's going to bring to you and all the good that's going to flow from those two habits. But they're keys. So I give you the keys.
SubhanAllah. Gosh. What would I want my kind of last message to be? I think the similar to what you said, that the ups and downs and twists and turns of life, that as long as you keep Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala central throughout all of that, and the focus and the priority, you will gain clarity, perspective, tools, solutions, comfort, ease, direction. It all has to be about Him. It all has to be with Him, and it all has to be for Him. And I think that's kind of like the message that I would I would want to leave behind, you know, when I think about our final messages. Yeah, it is. It started with him. He is the first and the last. And our very existence is for his sake, subhanAllah. So it's whether you're in moments of joy or moments of sadness, whether you have perspective and clarity or you don't, and you're in a dilemma and you need to make a decision, whether you are at the height of success or you're just kind of like trying to crawl out of something, with him and for him, that's how you're gonna navigate it all, you know. And that with him and for him can come in different ways. For some people, it's like I would say, in fact, let me not say that. You need to find your thing. You need to find the thing that attaches your heart to Allah. And for some people, it's dawah. For some people, it's sadaqah. For some people, it's the Quran. For some people, it's istighfar. For some, it's dua. For some, it's being of help to others. Find your thing. Find the thing that softens your heart for Allah. Find the thing that strengthens you when you're low, you know, and attach yourself to that. You know how some of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they were known for certain things. Yes, they, you know, worshipped Allah in totality, but they were known as the Sahabi who did, or the Sahabiyat who did, you know.
That's a really good.
And it's, yeah, really important to find your thing and excel in it. Do it with ihsan. Push yourself in it. You know, be known by the angels as the servant of Allah who was generous, or the servant of Allah who stood up, you know, for the downtrodden, you know, or the servant of Allah that attended every single protest for brothers and sisters around the world who were suffering, or, you know, or the person of Allah who was secretly waking up multiple nights of the week worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever it is, be known for that. And I would say excel in that and use that to navigate through the ups and downs and twists and turns of life.
I like that a lot. And what I like most about that is that sometimes we can see someone doing something and we think we're not enough, we're not worshipping enough, we're not doing enough. Where that thing that we can see them doing is their thing. And the thing that they excelling, you know. So for some people, like, it is completing Baqarah every single day. But in my circumstance, that might be really challenging for me. But for me, it might be fasting. I can fast. But for then that person, another person, it's really hard. So not beating ourselves up for not measuring up to other people's thing, our thing being our thing with Allah, and like you said, excelling in that thing and not putting ourselves down for not, you know, being able to do it like them. Because it's not that we can't do it, but we can't do it like them, you know. And yeah, that I think that's a really important point. I remember a friend was saying recently that, you know, during everything that's been happening with Gaza, she's seen different types of activism. And sometimes we had this thing of, oh, you're not doing enough because you're not active enough in this way. But you don't know her qiyam. She might be doing qiyam every single day. She's not in the protests, but she might be doing the qiyam. And then that one, she might be giving the sadaqah every week. But this one, she doesn't have the means to give sadaqah like that. But she is doing something else, you know. And if we all really embraced our thing, not wondering what other people are doing and not worrying about what other people are doing, subhanAllah, this ummah would be different if we really excelled in our thing. Because we've all got our strengths, subhanAllah.
That's so true. That is so true.
The job of the hand is not the same as the job of the foot.
Absolutely.
One body, yani.
Was that a Nigerian?
No, but let us make it.
Nigerian proverbs.
Let us make it now.
Mommy will be proud.
It might be, you know.
I'm sure Mum said something like that. She'd be like, yes.
No, my mom's one is the 5 fingers are not the same.
Right.
Yeah. So I just...
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. You know, I was just thinking as you were speaking that, in fact, when we were on a break and we were just getting something to eat before this episode, we were like, I wonder what the reaction is going to be like to this season, especially having had a 4-year gap. But I like this season. Yeah. This season feels like home. Even though this is our last episode, it feels like home because I feel like it's all been about Allah. It's all been about our soul's journey to Him, and ultimately that's what this life is. It's an illusion, you know, and we don't know how long we're going to be in it for. It could be that we step out and something happens, and you know, subhanAllah, they don't know this, right? But in season 3, when we just before the grief and loss episode, that's when I had learned that my house burnt down, right? And we didn't mention it in that episode, you know. So we don't know what's around the corner. We don't know. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us what's best, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us ease and afiyah and well-being, but we don't know. So let's live according to our purpose. Let's live out our purpose, not just to worship Allah, but looking at ourselves as individuals with our strengths, with our beautiful characteristics, and use that for the generic purpose, which is to live for Him and worship Him, right? And I think if everyone did that, like you said, the ummah will rise again, you know?
I'm thinking about what you said about the ups and downs, and how people are listening to this from different places, different locations on the wave, you know? And we have an episode about highs and lows back there somewhere in the backlogs. Don't remember what we said, but it's there. We know there's a record somewhere. And I think that it's important that, like, on a human level, each of us has been at times felt like we were in a high,
My gosh,
and
yes.
been at like hopeless lows.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like
oh, yes.
desperate lows, you know, and to see that there is a coming out, there is a light, there is, you know, riding the wave, like you said, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and starting to see that this is, you know, not to let it turn into despair, and not to feel like this is your new home. You don't move in the lows. You're passing through. You're passing through. There will be lows, and it can seem really dark and hopeless, and you to feel like I don't know if I'm ever going to get out of this. Is this what I'm going to become? Is this going to be the end of me? Is this what I'm going to amount to? My whole life is going to turn into this. Like, it's not. Allah will bring you out of it, and it can be good again, and it can be great again, and
even better.
And you can look back and be like, you know, alhamdulillah. And it's the part when Yusuf alayhi salam says that Allah did ihsan to me and He got me out of the prison. I didn't understand. It's the reflection. When you revisit it, it has a different meaning. Because he was in the rough place, he appreciates the value of getting out of it. If you've never been in it, it's like, okay. But if you were in there, you know, you have this gratitude that you were in such a dark place and He brought the light back, and you're like, light is so valuable and so special.
We only appreciate light when you have experienced darkness. SubhanAllah.
But light can even only be appreciated or even perceived because of darkness, right? Because there is an opposite, and this is something that's real in this dunya. Everything has its opposite. It has its duality, and this world is full of dualities, and the Quran is full of dualities. SubhanAllah, the comparisons that Allah makes in the Quran is full, you know. So to embrace, that's the thing, to embrace that there will be highs and lows, and it's not a problem to be in a low. It's actually the opening to the high, right?
Absolutely. Okay, so final words. Final words of HTT. Literally final words. SubhanAllah. I feel emotional, man. I feel so emotional. Oh, final words.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, first of all.
I think it's for me, it's been such an honor to have been able to have a platform to share, and to have been chosen for this task. And I pray that we did it justice, and that Allah accepts, and that He covers our flaws and our mistakes. That doesn't hold us to account for the slip-ups that we've made and the slip-ups that we are going to make because we're human. And that he carries the light from HTT into further corners where conversations are happening, where taboos are being broken, where sisters are rising out of difficult situations. And yeah, it's been fire.
Alhamdulillah.
It's been so good. Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
The same. Yeah, like I thank Allah for like writing this into my fate, including in part of my story. I stand by everything I said, but I apologize if if I hurt anyone, you know, by omission. If they felt overlooked or like their situation was glossed over or diminished by something that I said, it wasn't my intention. You know, I come at this with love and care for the people who I hope it can reach. The people who sincerely come to it, you know, wanting to hear. For the people who are coming to nitpick and find fault, to be offended. I hope I got you good.
That's her literal last message.
For you, that's fine. Yeah, but for people who are, you know, who are sincerely, you know, I didn't mean. Yeah, for those, I didn't mean to cause anyone harm. I love you too. I love you too. But yeah, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, and it's the end of a chapter, and it's really special. I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to see the next things that come out, the next projects, and the younger generation coming up behind us who are way better at this and way more dedicated to the projects. And I'm excited for you guys, and I'm cheering for you.
Okay, so my final words. I remember the first conversation that we had, and we prayed istikhara. We took it to Allah. We weighed it up. We took it to Allah through istikhara, and we didn't know where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would take it. And we asked Allah, as you said, LY, that, you know, may He accept, may He forgive us for our shortcomings. We are just 3 ordinary women with flaws, imperfections. We're just doing our best. We're trying our best for the sake of Allah. And I pray that if it has helped anyone, that it weighs heavily on our scales, because we're going to need it. Ameen. And I pray the conversations continue, because they have to continue. And it's been an honor. Oh gosh, I do not want to cry. It's been an absolute journey and an honor. And thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching, listening, engaging, and starting your own conversations. And on that note, I just want to say thank you for watching this final episode of Honesty Talk. And we have one last message for you, and that is Yalla bye. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.